Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Marvel. We're going to talk about Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus. Now, if you know the whole story behind Daredevil Born Again, the original take was reportedly so bad that Disney went back and reshot most of the series.
Well, it was so bad they fired the directors, hired the showrunner who did The Punisher, and redid the entire thing.
Right. It was, yeah. What we didn't know was like how bad actually was Daredevil. And according to Rob Liefeld, Deadpool co-creator, he was hearing it was supposed to be a comedy, like She-Hulk.
That tracks, because it would go along with the She-Hulk BS.
Because that's exactly what people wanted. That's exactly what people expected from Daredevil, right? And they're even saying now they're kind of like retconning the whole She-Hulk thing, like that didn't happen. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about Vincent D'Onofrio, the Kingpin, replying to Rob Liefeld's theory that it was a comedy. Now, Rob does know a lot of people in LA, and he hears a lot of things. Of course, being the Deadpool co-creator.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of these. But and he's also taken Marvel to task. We're going to do another video talking about Captain America, but he's basically kind of like actively rooting for its failure and saying that Kevin Feige needs to get the hell out of Marvel.
Welcome to the club. Anyway.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he does know a lot of people. So we're gonna read what was said. We're going to react to it. And God, I mean, seriously, that would be very current year Disney to take an incredibly successful, probably in my opinion, the best live action Marvel adaptation and turn it into a damn comedy.
Well, weren't they going to reboot them all? Because for those who don't know, They had the Netflix Marvel shows. Of course, those shows were Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil was the most popular one. Oh, they did the Defenders also. So they were really popular on Netflix, and they brought them over to Disney Plus, and people, were happy about it. But the word was they were going to reboot it, and people didn't want that. They just wanted continuations and stuff they already liked. And it's good thing they changed course and went with the continuation of what they liked, because it sounds like if they had gone this way, they could have just, flushed it down the toilet the whole way.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
If you want notifications of when we upload new episodes, go out to clownfishtv.substack.com. We're doing this because I've actually had a lot of people complaining in the last couple of weeks. They're not getting notifications on YouTube. This way you will know whenever we upload a video that it's there. You'll get an email notification. You will not miss any videos. And because I actually had somebody come to me like a week ago. I was like, I haven't seen your videos in 2 weeks. And it's like, well, I can't do anything about that. So,
hey, unless we're sick, there's going to be updates every day. Just keep checking the page if nothing else. Anyway.
Yeah. So check it out. clownfishtv.substack.com. So this is coming from Total Film, Games Radar. I guess they just kind of like absorbed all these websites into Games Radar. As Deadpool co-creator claims Daredevil Born Again was originally a comedy, one of its stars says the creative overhaul was because they knew what the fans wanted. Well, if it was a comedy, the fans didn't want that.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, Disney Plus's upcoming show, Daredevil Born Again, is set to be an all-out action series, but Marvel Comics creator Rob Liefeld has claimed that the show was originally set to be a comedy before Marvel's stuntman took over.
I think that's probably true. I mean, given what they did with She-Hulk and the way that they said there was not a lot they could use.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they had to scrap pretty much the whole thing, the fact that they were setting the tone with Daredevil showing up in She-Hulk and doing the walk of shame,
yeah, but I mean, some of that stuff was kind of in character from the comic books, but
yeah, I mean, look,
people expected Netflix.
Look, you're doing a follow-up to the Netflix show. It's got to be the same tone. I mean, a lot of people were not happy with Kingpin in Hawkeye. They thought he was too light in Hawkeye, and I actually agree. He was wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. I'm like, what the hell? Vincent D'Onofrio has since set the record straight, saying the reshoots were all down to showrunner as Dario Scartapane. Prior to the Marvel brass finally listening to talent, the show was a comedy, said Rob Liefeld. They brought in action impression Phil Severa, who literally reshot most every episode. The action stunts are next level. And then they're talking about how he's got beef with Marvel. So let's see here. Here's his original tweet. Yeah, show is a comedy, run action impression. Phil Presario, Phil Savar, who literally reshot every episode. And people are calling him out now. Never apologize for telling the truth. I won't. Okay, so here's D'Onofrio. Phil was hired again for the stunts. That's true. The new episodes, even the action scenes, were written by Dario, our showrunner.
Right, which was the person they brought in after they fired the two directors on the old show.
Right. Phil came in with his expertise and coordinated the stunts. It was a wonderful restart, and we all worked really hard for the fans. Charlie, myself, and Dario, and the producers and studio heads felt like we knew what the fans wanted. That was our goal.
Well, honestly, they probably would know what the fans wanted over the new people because they worked on the Netflix show, which was popular.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Because, again, if it's tonally different, even if it's boring, I mean, it's one thing like Daredevil had its slow had some slow scenes, right? But it also had the hallway fight, and they always build up to something. No episode of Daredevil, except for maybe season 2 had a couple, but no episode really felt wasted. It didn't feel like filler, again, except for season 2. But I heard that it was really slow or whatever. So, so that was D'Onofrio, and he said he didn't address the comedy element of Liefeld's claim, though. That may be true.
But it's probably true, though, because he said that's not what fans wanted.
Right. So you gotta watch it, because sometimes celebrities will they play it cagey because they can't give too much away. They don't want to look like they're
crapping on it or anything.
Crapping on or whatever. But he didn't say, no, Rob, that's not true. It wasn't a comedy. He said we knew what the fans were expecting, and what was shot was not what fans were expecting.
Which
actually,
basically makes sense. It was a comedy.
What we were hearing, if I remember correctly, was a lot of it was going to take place in the courtroom, and there wasn't going to be as much
She-Hulk
action.
2.0?
Yeah, pretty much. So they did bring back Karen and Foggy. I don't know if they were supposed to be in it originally.
They weren't originally. They brought him back later. I am concerned though, because there's a rumor that they might not make it through the show, but because of the comic book and stuff. Yeah. And I hope they don't do that, because I'll be very PO'd if they brought him back just for that reason.
So March 4th, it's coming out on March 4th, and I might actually watch this one.
Oh yeah, we probably will watch this one.
I loved Daredevil. I loved all those shows. The only one that kind of fell flat with me was Iron Fist, and I would say the second season was not great.
I didn't watch all of it. We only watched part of it.
Yeah, we got about halfway through it. I'm like, no, I'm not into this. And we know what's going to happen. They bring Iron Fist back. It's going to be like he has to pass the mantle of Iron Fist onto an actual Asian person, because he can't be Iron Fist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but now they might not do that. A year ago, maybe, but now
maybe. Well, he kind of did with Colleen, right?
Yeah, but honestly, she was, better than him anyway.
He was kind of a putz. But anyway, so yeah, that's apparently what's going on. It's supposed to be a comedy, and D'Onofrio did not deny it.
No,
he just kind of danced around.
Oh no, that wasn't true. No, he just basically said they rewrote it. They did new action sequences, and they tried to give fans what they knew they wanted, which basically says to me it's you're not admitting it, but by omission that you're saying it's true.
Oh my God. So comic book movies, now they're all after Rob Liefeld. They're all trying to get, like Bo DeMeo, Rob Liefeld now spends most of his time online sharing his issues with the company with anyone willing to listen. His latest podcast, for example, is called Marvel, How Feige Lost His Fastball.
Feige never had a fastball. Feige had it handed to him, and when he had to do it himself, he dropped the ball. So what if Rob Liefeld's saying this? It honestly tracks. Given She-Hulk, given the fact that they were saying it was going to be a very different Daredevil, and it was basically a reboot. You weren't going to have Karen and Foggy in it, and they were going to try to do something different than Netflix, and all that stuff. And then they completely scrapped it, brought all new people in, and redid it to make it for what the fans would want and make it a continuation. Tells me that likely it was true.
Yeah,
I believe. It all kind of lines up.
Yeah, because they were setting it up with She-Hulk, like we're going to have a kinder, gentler, funnier.
Mm-hmm. And D'Onofrio didn't say it wasn't true.
No, he didn't say it wasn't true. And look, they already nerfed the Kingpin in Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, and I didn't watch Echo, so I don't know how he was, but he wasn't the same badass he was in Daredevil, right? He shows up with a freaking Hawaiian shirt. I'm like, come on, come on. This is this is not what I want to see. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
We're gonna wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.